Street Creek, motherfucker.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I didn't drink. That was Juan. I don't know what my excuse is. I mean, I'm hungover a little bit still, but... Started playing Civilization. I like that shit.
Yeah. Civ. Fucking the Civ 4 music video to Baba Yetu is like the most humans kind of video I've ever seen, personally. Just like if fucking aliens attacked, we would play that shit in Times Square, and then like you'd be like, yeah, let's do some Independence Day shit. Go to war. We're humans. We're better than everyone. But it's also like a little bit like the X-Men Apocalypse opening, where it's like, alright, what's the important parts of history? Here's the pyramids, here's Jesus.
The Nazis happened, and then America!
Yeah, and the good parts, George Washington, Abe Lincoln, everybody loves those guys. I have to say, like, I don't know how self-aware they were with it, but they showed fucking the Manhattan natives getting fucking screwed in the trade deal. And, like, I don't know if they're showing that being like, whoa, this is a fucked up thing, or if they're like, yeah, we swindled those.
This is part of history.
Yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit last night. There's no question Civilization is written from a kind of problematic and very white perspective. It's still a good game.
Yeah, and they've definitely, like, tried. They've, like, given it diminishing problematicness in each iteration. Like, they've definitely, like, tried to move toward, you know, being more inclusive with each successive game.
It's not the worst thing out there by any means. It's it just fucking is super colonial because it's trying to portray history, and most of history is super fucking colonial.
Turns out humans were real assholes to each other.
I do like how not focused on combat the game as a whole is, though. That, like, trying to beat everyone else in the world into submission is actually one of the least efficient ways to beat the game.
Yeah, although I think there is an achievement that you get, like, called, like, Napoleon Conquest or something. Like, something like that, reference to Napoleon, where it's, like, declare war on everyone in the first turn. And then just, like, win. If you can do that, then you're fucking Napoleon. Yeah, it's definitely more, like, diplomacy and alternative strategies for victory oriented than, like, Age of Empires 2, at least. Where it's like, Age of Empires, you better have some fucking militias up.
Oh, and I really liked that. The very first game of Civilization I played, I was just kind of dicking around and doing my best and trying not to die.
Yeah.
And I accidentally won through a culture victory because I was just, like, doing things that made sense to me in the moment, and it turns out I constructed the best culture in the world and was an influence on everyone else.
Yeah.
So I won.
I like out of context, that sounds like so fucking smug and shit's like, I wasn't even trying and I had a culture victory. Aren't I just the best? Aren't we the best country? God.
Did you say Mad Jack peers at me?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Peers at you with his weird hand eyes. Got some good hand-eye coordination. Oh, his legs and, like, torso kind of make a face. See the orbs as the eyes?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
okay.
It's weird.
I see it.
Magic. He's very mad jick. He should be a happy jick. Except we're killing him, so I guess he should be a sad jick.
It's almost October. I'm excited for Halloween movies.
Woo!
Watching Hocus Pocus.
But not Halloween, the movie series.
No, I don't like those movies.
Yeah.
I don't like slasher movies.
I don't like Michael Myers. He was okay in Shrek.
It was just a little bit too stabby.
Yeah, it was weird. He was like, I'm still Scottish.
I was reading someone talking about how the Michael Myers mask is a it's a Captain Kirk mask that's, like, distressed and destroyed.
Yeah.
But they were describing Michael Myers as a slasher movie villain and talking about how his weapon of choice is just, like, a regular-ass kitchen knife.
Yeah.
That he apparently picked up at some point and has never put back down, which is almost creepier.
Yeah.
It's just, like, randomness of, yes, this random...
This'll do.
Arbitrary kitchen knife is what I will kill everyone with, regardless of the circumstances.
Yeah. God. I'm not really much of a slasher movie guy in general.
Sasha is, though.
Sasha definitely is. And, like, I respect certain parts of the craft of various slasher movies. Like, I respect, like, I mean, if you consider Alien like a slasher movie, yeah, I would say it's like a monster slasher, you know?
it has things in common. I mean, that starts to get into the space
right.
of,
But
of being difficult to distinguish between horror and a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah, but it is definitely a movie where like a lot of people fucking die over the course of a movie, and it's like meant to creep you out in that way.
Sure.
But I really respect that like they don't show the xenomorph until the end for the most part. Like they let you imagine what's there, because like that's a very important thing to realize about fear, is that what you imagine is going to be scarier than what's out there. In general.
That was a thing from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is one of the victims gets hung up on a meat hook during the course of the movie, and people were so fucking outraged about something that graphic being shown in a film. Like, how did this not have like a at least an NC-17 rating? And like, how dare you show me that kind of thing? And, like, it was way before the era of trigger warnings, but basically people were screaming about trigger warnings. They swearing up and down it was the most horrific thing they'd ever seen in their life, and that's not in that movie.
There. Yeah, that's oh god, that's like so
like, it's
cool.
not actually a thing that is shown in that movie at all. You just see Leatherface lifting the person up, and then the camera cuts away, and that's it.
That's like so cool to me that like that.
But people were so fucking fixated on it and obsessed with it and swearing that they had seen this really graphic thing that didn't exist.
Yeah, and like I really respect that. Like, I don't know if they intended this, but like they wanted to make you picture what would happen. They made the discretion the scarier part. You know, it's like when the Joker in The Dark Knight does the pencil trick, like it kind of cuts away. Or like it doesn't show the pencil going into the guy's forehead. Yeah. Like, but you still kind of, react to it.
I always saw it as eyeball.
Oh, it might be eyeball.
Because it wouldn't.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like,
that makes
pencil's
sense.
not going to go through your fucking forehead.
But like, yeah, you don't see it either way. But you still go like, oh fuck, he just did that shit.
Yeah.
I respect when movies do that. Even if I don't particularly like seeing them all the time.
The Wampa in the original cut of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Also, fucking Friday the 13th.
I like this. Juan and Yoshi talk about a genre of movies and we don't actually watch.
But it's great because neither of us actually like watching them, so we can just kind of like observe them and like fucking Jane Goodall.
That's why I took the horror movie course I took, because up to that point I hadn't really watched any horror movies, and I know that I know fucking nothing about this. This is my greatest weakness when it comes to film, and I need to learn more.
Right.
And then I did. I haven't really watched that many horror movies since then because I'm tapped out.
You're good.
I'll check in like another 15 or 20 years when there's been a couple more decades of horror film history for me to catch up on. Other than that, I'm okay.
Yeah, and I like that in Friday the 13th, right? Like the movie is convincing you that ghosts are real in the universe of the movie. Like, it convinces the characters, and also you. It's like, oh, okay, I guess this zombie child is here. But it's actually, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Friday the 13th, this weird, like, ancient by now movie. It's actually his mom, right? Like, it's not a zombie, it's something supernatural. She's just a pissed off mother who got fucking...
Until this Friday the 13th
Until the sequels where they're like, no, zombies are real. And that's like what frustrates me, is that like they took it doesn't really frustrate me because I don't really have a huge stake in it, but it's like why I can't really get invested in the whole franchise is because like...
But a lot of people could. A lot of
people just go in for that.
A lot of people thought the coolest part of the original Friday the 13th was the zombie child possibility before it was revealed that it wasn't a thing, and they wanted more stories in which that was actually the case, and then they fucking got that. And Jason keeps coming back. I love Jason in space. Yeah. Jason X is my so fucking
ridiculous. Doesn't he freeze someone with liquid nitrogen?
Yes!
Oh my god. But like,
it just keeps going.
I have a similar kind of thing with Terminator and Terminator 2. Like, there are a lot of people who really like both of those movies. A lot of people really like T2. And T2 has parts of it that actually still hold up strangely. Like, they were aware of how bad CG was at the time. So, like, they only used it in ways that would be, like, creepy.
Sure.
Like, when the dude, like, he fucking, shifts through the bars because he's liquid metal. He can do that. And that's, like, cool. But T2 and Terminator are so different. Like, they're like, one of them is this psychological thriller just made on this idea of, like, what would you do if something were following you and you just couldn't get away?
Yeah.
And it would never stop and no one would believe you about it. Like, it's all about that fear. And the second one is just an action movie. It's like, what if Arnold Schwarzenegger was an awesome robot? Kick the shit out of a different robot.